Hello and welcome to Bloomberg Quint, and this is for all the option traders there who are perplexed whether to write an option or to buy an option. Just an attempt with our experts right here who can actually simplify whether one should write or buy an option. This is Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal. He's a regular feature every week on our F&O show, and Mr. P.S. Sundar, who's been very kind enough to tell us how much profits he's been making every day. And the last figure, mind you, he shared with me was he's made 1.4 crores since the start of this financial year. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, correct.
All right. And you believe in writing options?
Yeah, sure.
And Chandan, you've been advising your clients to buy options?
Yes.
Okay. So let me start off with Mr. Sundar first. Why writing and why not buying?
Okay, the writing has certain advantages. Number one, you can use the collateral for writing, but for option buying you have to pay upfront. And number two, in writing, even if your view goes wrong, you can do some kind of hedging. But option buying, you can't do anything. Okay, either you can put a stop loss and come out, or you may lose entire money. And in option buying, there is a possibility of entire capital being eroded. And whereas option selling, that is not the case.
Okay.
Right? So these are some
But
of
sir,
the
to write an option, you need a person like Chandan who is buying option that for you to execute the trade. So Chandan, why do you go for buying and not writing options? Is it more riskier?
See, talking about the options buying, writing is quite riskier because when you're writing something, your risk is unlimited, reward is limited.
Right.
And again, if you are option writer, your investment is the margin or you can have to put the collateral. But when you're option buyers, especially direction option buyer, you have to, your maximum investment is the entire premium and your risk is limited to the premium which you are paying. So now what we do, we follow certain rules, certain strategy, certain indicators. However, there is the theory that 67% time option writers make money.
Right.
But as we are serving to the retails, so to get the maximum benefit of the options, we are the directional option buyers in the market. I'll just give an example.
So is it a cautious approach, sorry to interrupt, because you're, advising your clients, is it better for a retail trader to actually go for buying?
Yeah, that is the right way to be in the option market. What I understand, like what happened yesterday in the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty started its move from 26,700 and headed towards 25. It started its move from 25,700 headed towards 26,000 zone. It has rallied by 300 points. And if you are a call writer on higher side, you will get stuck. While all the premium we started buying this 25,700 call near to 45, that moved to 288 rupees. Now, if you are writer at the money strike, you will be trapped totally. So what we understand based on certain rule, like the change in the volatility, based on the option congestion, option concentration, based on the volume weightage average. The volume weightage average of the last week was 25,820, and as market moved beyond the same, we understood that yes, now the short covering could come into the market, and that's why we became the option buyer and got the ride, and option go double and triple in just
Let me tell you, Mr. Sundar executed the right trade, and that too when the markets opened. Sir, you wrote a couple of Bank Nifty strikes, 25,600, 500 and 400 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, okay. Now, first thing is that, Mr. Chandan Taparia said, option buying, you have a limited margin money and you have a limited risk and unlimited profit. Okay, and if that is the case, logically speaking, everybody should be a buyer. Okay, but that is not the truth. Okay, and you go and buy a lottery ticket for 10 rupees, your risk is limited to 10 rupees, your reward is up to 1 crore, and then, okay, your investment is only 10 rupees. But you still don't go and buy lottery ticket. That is because you know that the probability of winning a lottery ticket is very, very, very low. So there is no such thing in this world.
You've never bought options in your life, be it stock or index options?
Okay, to give you the answer, okay, option seller is like an insurance company.
True.
Right? But sometimes the insurance companies, to insure themselves, they go for reinsurance.
Okay.
Right? So the same way, so being an option seller, you carry certain risk. In order to mitigate the risk, sometimes we, for the purpose of hedging, we do buy.
So will it be safe to assume, since these are your personal trades, so you can afford to take that risk of selling an option, but if you have to go out tomorrow and tell a trader who's a fresh trader into the market and trying to play on Bank Nifty or Nifty, expiry day, will it be safe for them to first go ahead and buy options, gain some experience, and then switch to writing?
No, that is totally wrong. Because what you have an experience in option buying, it cannot be used for an option selling. Then other question is, tomorrow you want to advise to the people. Okay. Now, to which segment of the people I'm going to advise? If I'm going to advise an entrepreneur, I will ask him to set up a casino. Right? If I want to advise somebody who has got only $10, $20, I'm going to ask him to be a gambler. So option buying is gambling and option selling is a casino running.
Okay, Mr. Sundar is just not willing to switch sides. He still believes that writing is better than buying. But whatever it be, both the participants are required for a trade to be executed, buyer or seller.
Yeah, but for casino running, you need gamblers.
Okay, but you tell me, Mr. Sundar, when I was chatting with you yesterday, you said you don't believe in stop loss.
No, I think my message is gotten wrongly.
Okay.
Okay. What normally people do, okay, they say you buy for 100 rupees, target 110 rupees, stop loss 95 rupees, that kind of thing. So they predetermine the stop loss. But in my case, I do not predetermine the stop loss. Okay, the reason being, if you are an option buyer, if your view goes wrong and you start losing the money, there is nothing else you can do. But if you are an option seller, and in case if your bet goes wrong, if the market goes against you, you can sell options on the opposite side for the purpose of hedging.
Okay.
Right? And then, at one point of time, if you feel that, it will not help you, then you may come out. I may book the losses.
Okay. You will book your losses, but you're not willing to put that number out there.
Predetermined stop loss.
Okay, Chandan, I think that's a thumb rule for buying.
Yeah, for buying. And again, see, when you're a buyer, your risk is limited, right?
Correct.
And especially when you're a seller, you have to go with deep out of the money. But when you're a buyer, and especially on expiry day, you can play with the slightly in the money, at the money, or slightly out of the money strike. And again, what happens? There is probability that option writers are running the market. But the only problem is, and are you ready to write only for 10 rupees to incur the unlimited risk? That is the only question for option writers. And what we believe, we follow the rule of the option writers, but we come out with the option buyings. I'll just give you an example. For the, let's say, the Nifty index, the 10,500 is the maximum put OI, 11,000 is the maximum call OI. That's shifted to 10,800. So now the range for the market is between 10,450 to 10,850. So once we understand the range, based on the option writing activity, we can be the option buyer of the market. So that is the rule that option writers make the market. But can we suggest everyone to sell the option?
I have a question there. When you look at the open interest, do you see it from buyer's point of view or from writer's point of view? Because we are often asked this question in the office also if somebody is talking about derivatives or from a lot of our viewers.
See, when you trade in option or future, the one rule is one trade is one sentiment. If there is buyer, there is seller.
True.
But as per the property of the option, that 67% time option writer makes money. But being the profile, I don't want to put so much risk. That's why I'm reading the data for option writing point of view and then coming out with the option buying
strategy.
I'll just give you an example. If you look at the entire broader trading range of this month, we were having the volatile event of the Karnataka election.
True.
Right? Market fell down sharply from 10,929 to 10,420 level. Right? If you are writing immediate strikes, then you lose. So what we understand, this is the boundary. And if it comes near to the lower band of the boundary, we can start buying the option, or we can initiate the customized strategy, whether the bull call spread or the call ladder or the butterflies, any kind of strategy. Now, one more thing I want to add, if you are option writer in index, that is fine, but you cannot dare to write the option in stocks. And especially if I talk about the name like PC Jewelers or the ADAG Group or the real estate counter, you can do writing in Reliance, HDFC Bank, HDFC Limited. But if you ask me, can you do the writing in BPCL? No.
Mr. Sundar, would you like to counter that?
Okay, see, generally, that every trade has a risk and corresponding reward. Okay, what he says, to some extent is true. Option sellers will like to stick to the indices. Okay, that's because HNI people need the huge liquidity, and that will be there in indices, but it will not be there in stocks. But at the same time, it is wrong to say that everybody buying the options in that kind of they make money. And I sold options in PC Jeweler, and I made a lot of money last month.
Yeah. So coming to that question, yes. See, somehow, whether you are option buyer and writers, you have to first identify the market direction. We are also following the concept of the option writing, and then we are coming out with the concept of option buying, because what we believe, we understand that option writers are making money, but are we on the place to take so much risk? And especially when
if the option sellers are making money, they are making money from whom?
Yeah, that is the rule. See, when you talk about derivatives, this is a zero-sum game. If someone is making money, someone has to lose. So there are
Yeah.
certain parameters.
I like that. I don't have to interrupt at all. Just go on. Okay, I think we're running out of time, but thank you so much, both of you. Be it option writing or options, buying. I'm not saying it's a battle of buyers or sellers here, but let me tell you, both are experts. Mr. Sundar and Chandan they've had a good success ratio when it comes to advising trades. Thanks for watching.